So let's jump into the VOD. So I will record this VOD obviously, so I can upload it to YouTube, and you've got it as a something to look back on. Obviously, this is a game that I haven't seen, so a lot of the things that I'm gonna say are gonna be based on what I would have done as you play, rather than what I've seen happen. So if we have
It
a
was
look,
so in Champ Select there was an early Twitch pick.
okay,
So I predetermined. Lily was also picked early, and Jace was picked early. So I predetermined that top lane's not really going to be much of an option for me to game,
yeah,
especially with the face of Jace. Twitch Yumi pretty immobile. Besides Twitch flashing with a Pike and Zaya, means sort of can be pretty good games for me. Mid lane Sejuani with against Anivia. Hopefully Nivea's pushing most of the time, so I should probably try and hover at times, as long as I know what Warwick's at.
so Olivia
Generally,
can't really push until 6, by the way.
yeah, I'm just more talking about the
Uh-huh.
range for us. It's
Oh yeah,
as
yeah, yeah.
20.
Okay.
But other than that, it's just more playing towards the bot lane early
Yep.
game and seeing if I can get them ahead.
I think that's good, especially because you've got a Pike. Pike is one of the champions where you really have to get ahead on early. So if you can get him ahead, he'll be really good. I'm Pike Zero Trick, okay.
Welcome to OC.
Okay, so far our kiting's good.
I need to improve on it a bit, to be honest. Like Pantheon's.
Yeah, so you're moving it about is okay, but move it elsewhere first, right? Because what you've done is you've taken it from here all the way over to here.
Should be dragging.
Yeah,
And
drag it up here first. Like kite it up
yeah.
here, and then come round and kite it to here, and then you go straight into this, and then you pull down. Just because you end up in this position now where
Running
you
a
can't
circle
really kite it
around
that much, yeah. Because whenever you're kiting something, what you always want to do is you always want to make it walk a little bit, because then it'll walk, and then it'll have to do its full animation in, and then it'll walk again. So when you're kiting, you always want to make it actually walk. Whereas right now you are moving about, and it's not really doing that much, you know.
I took
Okay.
a quick peek to mine just to see if there was anything
Yeah, if
worthwhile
anything
doing.
was available.
It's like I saw Lilia was sort of low, and I'm just like, yeah, there I sort of stuffed up with the grunt kiting.
Yeah, that's okay.
I saw, as I was walking through, I saw that Twitch and that was low, and I was like, there's enough time for a red buff. And
Yeah, of course.
possibly.
Yeah, you want to get the 3 first, because on Jungle Pantheon going QE is the best first 2, but then you can't really gank until you've got your W available.
Yeah. Should be looking mid here though, whilst mixing jungle kiting.
A little,
Yeah.
but
I get too low for my own personal liking. I realized as I was doing this, I could have been much higher HP.
yeah. So I think it was a lot to do with that initial kiting.
So
Okay.
I already knew that Warwick had been pathing up because Twitch got cheesed early.
Yeah. So we just wait for them to push in.
Probably showed a little bit too early.
I mean, so here, like, just throw the Q first. Like, that's fine.
I was wondering why
Oh.
the Pike. I looked over this and I was wondering why the Pike didn't get aggro. The Yumi got a shield, and Pike's auto attack
Yeah.
destroyed the shield. He didn't get to mix in another attack.
So you were getting focused here. I don't think his auto broke the shield, right?
His auto attack did break the shield.
Yeah, but like I think it only took the full shield amount. Let's have a
Yeah,
look.
that's why it only
Yeah.
took the full shield.
So he didn't actually damage her. So he didn't actually get aggro. It's the same way as if say you are recalling and somebody throws an ability at you and you have a shield, your recall will still go through because you actually have to take damage.
As well.
What was that? Sorry.
It's the same with Hex Tech Pulse as well. If you have a shield,
Yes. Yeah.
Down just
So yeah, 60 HP shield. She's level 2, so 70 HP shield. And yeah, I'm fairly certain Pike does not have 70 AD. So, yeah. So his base AD is only 62. So yeah, his auto literally took off pretty much the majority of the nearly all the shield. She must have had like a one HP shield left, or single digit anyway, which meant she didn't take aggro. He didn't take aggro, should I say?
I realized this was my mistake, though.
Yeah.
Not real. It was just a simple misplay by me.
Yeah. So tower diving in low elo is ridiculously hard because nobody has no idea. Nobody really knows what to do.
I agree. I just took the risk because they were that low. If I didn't take the try at it, then what am I meant to be doing at all?
So yeah. Also, don't worry about typing. It doesn't really matter. So here, to be honest, we should be deciding what we want to do. So, what is our goal in this game? What did we say we're going to play around?
Play around the bot lane is what my idea was.
Yeah. So, right now, this camp is gone. This one's up, this one's up, this one's up. How come you went for this one?
My thought process was... I clear out Raptor, Wolf, because I know Walk spot side camps are going to be respawning soon, so I can either play mid, make a play mid, or keep an eye top side. Because then Walk will be pathing up towards top.
Okay. So, we already said that we were going to isolate this bot lane. So what we want to be doing is we want to be creating a sequence down to it. So what ends up happening is if we go to this now, like we do, then we have to go all the way up here, and then we have to go all the way back down here, right? So instead of doing that, just kind of create a path. When you're leaving base here, create a path that you want to do to go to a lane that you want to influence. So this is still going to be the lane that we influence because we still do have a Pike. And they do still have a quite weak early game. Like Yuumi, you have to punish her early, otherwise she becomes ridiculously difficult.
Which also used his flash during that little season count.
Yeah, so we want to go, from here, we want to go up here, get this, then we want to go to here, get this, and then we want to go to here, get this, and then, we can go through and kill them, or we can go through this way if the wave is here still. So yeah, make a kind of pathway or a route that you want to go through the jungle. Just so that you're being as efficient as possible. Because that could be one of the reasons why your CS is a little bit lower.
Yeah. General early game plans I can make really well, but as you pointed out, my pathing does get scuffed after the initial plan.
Yeah, and that's normal. Now, one of the issues that you have when you're playing things like Pantheon as well is even though your priority shouldn't be to farm, because you are a bit of an early game jungler, your priority should still be to... even though your priority shouldn't be to farm, you still need to farm. Because what ends up happening is if you don't farm, the enemy Warwick is going to get so far ahead that you can't really do anything into him. So you have to kind of farm somewhat just to make sure that you don't fall too far behind. And then if you don't fall too far behind, then you're usually in a fairly good position. So, do you see what's happened now? So, this wave was here. So this is somewhat to do with reading the waves, right? Because this wave was at this point here. So that's always going to come back. It's always going to pull in. And now we're in a position where what we did is we went... where is my... There we go. So because we went here first, and then we walked all the way to here for nothing really, and then we've come all the way back. Now this wave is like here, and there's no way we can influence it. So if we would have just gone here, here, if the wave was here at that point, we could have then just come straight down, skipped these for now, and then look to punish. So we've just missed a huge punish window in bot lane, purely because we just didn't really consider where we were going, if that makes sense. Because now we can see here there's this huge wave in bot. Obviously Pike isn't here, but that's whatever. Maybe they get the kill. Oh, and Nivea griefed. Yeah. So now this Twitch is very, very vulnerable, and we can't really punish it. And we're not really going to get anything top lane either.
I think this is I've never actually had that pointed out to me.
I mean, these are normal. Like, so these are normal things for people in this elo. Don't get me wrong. Like sequencing and being efficient and stuff like that. That's what makes the good
It's
jump.
always I've always been told you need to be efficient, but the actual efficiency standpoint has
Yeah.
never really been pointed out to me.
Yeah, which is good because now we can tackle that and make it good. Now this is good. So the fact that we have been a little bit dynamic with what we're doing is good because we've put ourselves in this position, but that doesn't mean that now we're in this position we just roll over on our belly and die. Like we focus it out. So now we get these. I don't think his red buff is available, right? So
No, it's not.
with your so here for example, this is something to get used to as well. Is have you got F keys on your keyboard?
I am going to quickly turn my camera on just so you can see what type of keyboard I'm running.
Yeah, sure. Don't worry, I won't put it on my main screen.
It's all good. I'm not too camera shy. Hold on, just gotta find the right chord to unplug.
Yeah, no worries. Is it one of the mini ones or?
The 50% one.
Oh, okay. I mean, you could just put a picture in there of it as well.
Yeah, I think I got the right chord unplugged. Yeah, sweet. Oh, yes, it's a 50% one.
Okay. Are those F keys at the top?
I have to go function into F1, F2.
Oh, okay.
Really.
Okay, yeah, that's awkward for sure.
Yeah, so I've tried adapting by rebinding.
Okay.
Because I've actually got my summoner spells on my mouse button.
Okay.
That's why I've tried adapting, putting the F keys on, like having the F and G as F keys just for ADC top and mid.
Okay. Yeah, it could be awkward. But
It's very awkward to be honest, and I just got to work on the actual.
yeah, it's just gonna kind of become muscle memory. But yeah, I think the main reason I say that is because like right here, like having to move our mouse all the way down to the minimap there, like it's just a bit awkward. So what you can do is like between autos you can F key and it's way easier. So one big thing here. Okay, you just avoided it. But be careful when walking through this area, just as a note. Because if your minion wave is here, then it means that theirs is like here. So you nearly got spotted in this area, right? When walking through here, because it actually gives vision of that little crevice there. So just as a note, be careful about that. It didn't get you this time, but yeah, this is fine. We get his camps in return, which is good. Sejuani dies. So here, like, make sure that we're looking top a little bit sooner, just so that we can see what we can do. This is a potential kill. I don't think he even saw us, which is kind of funny. But unfortunate we didn't get that. So don't be afraid if it's a cannon, just use a Q on it. Just make sure that you get it. Just because
sorry.
it's... Oh, yeah, sorry.
My internet died.
Oh, no worries. Sorry, I didn't realize.
It reached a point. It's reached a point in the night where I have to switch to phone data to be able to do anything. So.
Oh really? Wait, why? What? Does the internet just die?
It's just my modem. It's just the modem itself. I've tried fixing it and called people to try and get it fixed, but it's just the modem itself is just ruined.
Oh my god! Yeah, that's very annoying.
Dies.
I mean, right now I technically have no internet.
I got. Yeah, fair enough. I was up to the key bindings at when Raptors.
Okay.
You were saying.
Okay, yeah. So it's just a comfort thing, but like for example here, like the fact that you have to move your mouse over bot lane to get that vision is it's just a little bit awkward. Obviously, it's not the end of the world if you have to do that. But yeah, the next thing that I mentioned is be careful. It didn't apply to this section, this time, but be careful when walking through this area because
Right.
if the minions are here,
I did notice that myself. That as I was doing this, I was like, "Oh shit! I did not keep an eye on the minion. Yeah, I am
yeah,
forgetting."
okay. I just wanted to make sure you knew that. A lot of people don't actually realize that that's a thing. But
My game knowledge is actually a bit higher than the players I get put with, but I just don't execute on the knowledge
yeah, and that's
itself.
the thing, right? This is what a lot of people don't realize. It's okay knowing everything you need to know about the game, but if you can't utilize it and utilize the right thing at the right time in the kind of heat of the moment, then it's just kind of pointless information, right? Like it's information that you could pass on to somebody else and they could make use of it, but otherwise, like God, like coaches would be like rank 1 easily. Otherwise, but it takes a lot more
Yeah,
than actually knowing about the game to be able to execute it. So
I'm
in
so sad
this,
I missed that cannon.
yeah, so I did say
I
that,
thought
but
it had enough HP. I
yeah.
thought it had enough HP.
So when it comes to like a cannon here, just use your Q on it because in this situation, this is like a third of a kill almost, right? So just just use a Q on it. Doesn't matter if you use mana there, you've got plenty. Some nice farming on the tower. Okay, so when you are killing these ones off, so the trick to farming under tower is to layer them down, right? So like
Yeah,
here.
I had the longsword and I thought I had the AD to
Oh no!
attack the
So you
minion.
need two long swords to one
Yeah,
tower.
I did realize that
Yeah,
after I saw that I didn't kill that minion. I was
yeah,
like,
it's
oh shit.
unfortunate. So what you do is see this time where you're not really doing all that much. What you could
I
do
can
is
auto that melee, and then the minion that's closest to the center front of the tower is going to target next, which is yeah.
so not even that much. What you can do is you can say auto one of the casters and then Q this to kill it, and then auto another caster and then last hit this after two tower hits. Then what
Uh,
you do is then
I was
say
just,
yeah.
yeah, I see what you're talking about. My brain was just going through on how the tower's targeting system works in minions.
Oh yeah.
How I,
So you were correct with how it does that. It will focus these early ones first, um, and then it
and
also
it
goes
goes.
left to right, whatever's closest
Uh,
to it.
uh, it just targets. If I could draw on that, I would draw on that, but I can't.
Okay, that's fine. So this one, and then this one, and then this is the closest left minion to the tower, right? So it'll
Okay.
go left to right
I
because
just
this
always
one's a bit.
thought. No, I always thought it was just because the actual, from what I've learned, the actual targeting from the tower is from a certain point at the front of the tower, it will attack the closest minion to that center point, to that point on the tower. So
Yeah,
where your mouse just was, it will attack the closest minion to that.
yeah. So it
I didn't
targets.
realize it was left to right.
Yeah. It targets
So,
the closest minion to the tower and then goes left to right.
okay.
So yeah, like I said, though, get into the habit before you've got two long swords. Try and get autos, just one auto into as many of these, and then when the tower hits, it's just one more auto to click them off. Makes it super easy to farm on the tower.
Sorry if I'm just like interrupting with
Oh
my own
no,
brains.
oh don't worry about that. Feel free. Like at the end of the day, like if that allows you to learn easier, then feel free. Like it's at the
Just
end of the day, it's
I'm processing the information with
yeah. And this is the thing.
uh,
If you're being more active in it as well, then that'll allow you to retain that information more as well, right? So
it's just my brain's processing through the active statement and question asking.
yeah, mine does that as well. I learn through actually doing too. Like I learn from kind of being shown and then actually doing it. So it's normal too.
I actually do a fair amount of Destiny raids, and my actual teaching method in it is I'll explain, and then we'll do trial and error runs until
Yeah,
people
yeah,
start understanding it.
yeah. Unfortunately, we don't get the luxury with League as much, but so this is interesting. So how far ahead is a Warwick? So I think
I
Warwick's
wasn't
ahead.
looking to invade walk. I was actually looking to go back around the Jace.
Oh, Dodgers Wards. Okay.
But then there was another instance of I wasn't tracking the minions.
Yeah. But, I mean, this should still work.
It works out anyway, purely
Yeah.
because I knew Lily had ultimate. I really wanted that kill.
Yeah, it's very, very sad. Very sad. So,
And I immediately
now
jumped
you
out.
can... so, what do you think one of the problems is with... okay, so you didn't go to it. That's good. I thought you were going to go to that red then. Okay.
I don't think I should have recalled yet. I think this was one of my honest mistakes, but I had 1,600 gold I wanted to spend.
Yeah, so... So it's okay. Like, so this is probably controversial, I guess. Like, I think it's okay to stay on the map with a lot of gold if you understand how to play with having that much gold. So in this situation, if the Warwick came, then, you know, you wouldn't be able to do anything yet.
Yeah.
Now, one thing that you do want to do here, though, is we have spent a lot of time in top lane, which is fine. What we want to do is we want to put a ward here, and then we actually want to go and clear these camps. Now, the reason behind this is because what's going to end up happening now is as soon as we reset...
as soon as I reset, the
we
camp's
gotta come.
levels are going to be equal as well, and the Rift Herald coming up, I want my... So just clear blue side into reset?
Yes, because what ends up
then
happening...
I'll be at like 1,800 gold, 1,100 becomes 750 for the serrated dirk. I can build in some other items. I can come off fresh reset with the Lilia towards that Rift Herald as well.
Yeah, plus then what you can do is you can stop the Warwick from getting anything from you, because if you ward this Herald, you're going to know if he's there. Now, this is one of the few situations where Pantheon ult is actually pretty good, because what you can do now is...
Also, why I enjoy Pantheon Jungle is purely because the ultimate lets me...
yeah, so I mean, the ultimate... I've said this a few times. The ultimate on Pantheon Jungle, or on Pantheon in general, should I say, is more of a laner's ultimate, because what it allows is, let's say, for example, you're a mid laner, you push the wave in, it's like, great, then you can get bot lane earlier, or you can get top lane earlier for those rotations, but it can also work vice versa, right? Because let's say, for example, we're the one, so let's say we're Pantheon on red side, and we're getting pushed in, then what we can do is we can clear these minions on the tower, and say the enemy mid is here, it won't matter because we clear these off, we get to say like this point, and then we can ult in and still be in the fight. So it means that these mid laners and kind of assassins that roam and stuff, they won't actually get as many windows of opportunity to actually do anything really, you know.
Pantheon actually does a lot of assassins, doesn't it?
Yes, yeah. Because his W is point and click. So if you're playing into let's say we're playing into Z, we can just spam W on top of ourselves, and it'll actually stun him mid animation.
I do love doing the Pantheon to Z matchup.
Yeah.
And just watch it cry as I press E for the...
Yeah, exactly. He's just E, and he can't really do anything, which is very, very tilting as an assassin. But so yeah, so we can ward this Herald, and then we can go straight down here, and we can clear this into this. Well, sorry, we've got red as well. So this into this, and then we just go straight to the Herald like that, right? So then we're in a position where if, say, for example, while we're clearing this bot lane, let's say Warwick has a ward here, for example, and he sees us there, he can't then just walk in and take this camp into this camp and then be stronger for Herald. So it ends up really, really good, because if, say, for example, Grump is super quick to take and it gives a lot of XP. Now, what can happen is for every level, how much do you think you get in kind of base stats per level?
Base stats, I think, with Pantheon, it might be like...
Or just in general, of all champions, what do you think the range is?
Are you talking about a gold value or the
actual gold value. No, gold value. Of the stats
gold
you
value?
receive.
Put a ballpark figure of like 200, 250?
Okay.
No, wait. How much AD does a longsword give again?
10.
10? That's 350.
Yeah.
You get like 280. Yeah, I'm gonna stick with the 250 ballpark
You are?
figure.
Okay. So it's actually way, way more. So it's roughly, the lowest is about 500. But then the highest is 652, if I remember correctly. So it's within this range. So the best way to think about it is every level you have above the enemy, you're looking about 2 kills worth of gold. So the next thing with this as well is a lot of these stats are actually in defensive stats, which defensive stats are even better when you're ahead. Because one thing that people don't realize is if, say, for example, we go with, if we go with offensive stats. Oh, is there a blackboard? There is. There we go. If we go with offensive stats, then that means that we need to do more damage, right? Now, what ends up happening is if we get ahead, one of the misconceptions with the game is that we need more offensive stats, where we don't. If we're ahead, what we actually need is more defensive stats, because then that allows us to survive for longer and do more damage overall with a lower amount of, say, AD or items. So one thing that people always make this mistake of is if they're behind, they'll go defensive, which is wrong, because if you go defensive when you're behind, then you're never ever going to be able to do enough damage to make up for the advantage that the enemy has. And if you go for more offensive stats when you're ahead, then you're just going to die and give away your bounty, and you're going to fall behind, stuff like that. So it's like a really big misconception, but what that means is if we get ahead in levels by quite a lot, then we'll have so many defensive stats through natural stat gain anyway that we'll be able to output way more damage in fights.
Sort of one comparison that I can put my brain towards is sort of like the serrated dirk into Barney Cinder sort of comparison.
Yeah, so that was obviously a big thing at some point. But yeah, HP in general early into the game is incredibly effective, because early into the game when nobody really has armor pen or anything like that, we end up in a position where raw HP helps us against everybody in the game, right? Like if we build, say, armor, then we're still going to take damage from
all the armor in the world, but if you don't have any HP,
yeah, then it's not really going to do that much, you know. So yeah, it ends up a bit awkward. So if, say, for example, the main point of that was if, say, for example, our Grump is available and we are clearing bot side, and then Warwick goes and takes the Grump, that might give him a level lead over us, which then might mean we, say, lose a Herald or something like that.
Yeah.
So this is fine to clear the red first. To be honest, in the path I gave earlier, it should have actually included red first, purely because it has over double the respawn timer. So if you take other things first, then you end up being stunted on your next sequence.
Okay. I was keeping an eye on my bot lane's positioning for all this as well.
Yeah.
Warwick flash, we sort of follow it for a bit.
Yeah.
Jump over and it's like, alright, I'll just go back towards the camp. Oh, actually, no, I wanted sort of Sejuani, wasted Q, and I was like, alright, she's gonna run up. Then the Anivia flash walled, and I was like,
yeah. Right. Yeah, this Anivia isn't too good now. Don't get me wrong, Anivia is probably one of the hardest champions in the entire game to play properly, in my opinion.
She's a strong champ, but if you...
Yeah, very strong, very strong. Anivia is
here
really
I thought, I don't want the Warwick getting a kill on this side. So
yeah, so one of the main things that we're doing here, which is...
I have an issue of where I want to help everybody.
Yeah, so this works out, and we get a triple kill, I presume.
Something like that. Double kill. They get away from this.
So this is kind of to do with how we use our abilities in this fight, to be honest. So this is good. We get this Warwick, which is nice. E was a bit off, but here. So it's like in this position, what we're doing is this Jace is 100% going to die, right? So we don't need to CC him in order for him to die. He's always going to die.
Yeah.
So what we want to do...
The w for after
yeah. So what we do is we kill him off, and then what we do is here, we would then...
Scared because the Anivia had no mana, and the Pyke was already so close to death that...
it's okay. We're really, really strong. We've got Serrated Dirk and a Vampiric, so we're pretty big, to be fair. We could have won this because like Yuumi, if she is... I just realized
that Yuumi has boots.
She does? Oh,
yes.
Okay. Haha. So the only time that I think boots are acceptable on Yumi is if you go on AP Yumi for Soul Shoes, just because they give ridiculous amounts of MR at Magic Pen for a low price.
Either Moonstone or Imperial
No,
Magnet.
this is terrible. She'll go Moonstone surely, but yeah, the boots are weird. But yeah, so what you'd look to do is you would W the Yumi as she begins that channel, right? So what you do is you'd follow her as you do.
Before the download still puts it on the CD.
Yeah, so she's on CD here. So what you do is there.
I've had my W beforehand.
Yeah, then you W her here, and that would actually, because it's point and click, it will always go through. So what ends up happening then is she'll jump, but then she'll get stuck here and she won't get on.
Yeah.
And then you just kill her off, and then, Sejuani can't do anything, she's got no mana. So yeah, just make sure that when you're in a fight,
Make it aware of what.
yeah, always think about what the next move is, right? So here it's like, okay, we kill Warwick and we're like, okay, Warwick's gonna die. We know that for sure. Like he's super he's super outnumbered. So it's like, okay, here, okay, a lot of damage on the Jace. Okay, Jace is gonna die. So at this point now, we need to go, okay, Jace is going to die 100%. What do we want to do as soon as he dies? So you want to constantly be thinking, what do we do when he's dead? What is that next move that we're going to make? And then that would avoid you kind of using W and stuff like that. So, like, you want to be thinking a few seconds ahead in the team. Like, a second ahead is pretty good.
Been a triple kill.
Yeah, exactly. We could have got triple quite easy there. But this comes back to my original point, is the fact that we get his red here. Then he flashes away from that fight. And it's like, we shouldn't chase. We shouldn't just keep going. Because we know the blast gun's there. What we should do is we should then instantly go for our camps. So we should go with this one, and then clear that away. And then go to this one, clear that away. Clear this. And then we go for a Herald fight. Just because then it makes sure that we're staying up on gold and XP. Because do you know about how XP punishment works inside the jungle camps?
Well, and as you clear out the jungle camps, the level of the camps will go higher. But if you don't clear them out, they'll stay at the level of when they've last been cleared.
Yeah, when they last spawned, yeah.
When they last spawned.
Yeah. So, do you know how much XP you lose? Like the calculation?
No, I do not know that.
So every one level that you are above the camp, you'll lose 10% XP.
Wait, what?
Yeah. So for every level you're above the camp, you lose 10% XP. So
is that for every champ in the game?
Yes,
or just
everyone. For every level you're above inside of the jungle, you lose 10% XP. This goes to a cap of 5. So if you're 5 levels above, you'll lose half of the XP from the camp. You'll lose 50%.
I wonder why I get told if I don't clear out bugs on the first one, just leave it.
Yeah, like, so, I mean, yeah, that's kind of bad, to be honest, like, because you still want to be clearing them, because you only have to clear them that once, and then they come back up again.
Obviously.
But
just I never get the exact math that you would.
Yeah, it's huge. It's a big amount. In previous seasons, it also used to work the other way, where if you're -1, you'd be 10% more XP. So you get plus 10%, and if you were...
Well, it's still sort of like that.
Not anymore. Now it's like if you're 3 levels below, then you get a set amount of bonus XP.
Okay.
But it used to be that you get plus 50%. Now, obviously, this was way too broken, because what you do is you just spam gank over and over and over. You do a clear of your camps, and then you'd basically end up the same level as a farming jungler, even though you've had a ridiculous amount more impact. But this is still applicable, and it's very, very broken. So it's definitely something to take into consideration. But yeah, so the fact that you're not clearing these camps, like, obviously, like I said, your main goal isn't to be a farming champion, but the way you want to see the champion is, even if they're not meant to be a farming champion, in lower elos, you want to prioritize farm, so you get yourself ahead, and then you can get kills when they're free. So you never really want to be in a position where you are just not really farming, and you're not really or not really ganking. You do want to kind of get a mix of both, but you want to put yourself in a position where you can farm, and then if something happens, you can influence it, you can go to it and stuff like that. So it's kind of like when you gank as a jungler, you have to see it as an investment into yourself. Obviously in competitive it's a little bit different because you can invest into other people, but in solo queue you really want to see it as an investment into yourself, because you know you're the main variable that you have control over, right? So now we killing this guy, but so see again, like our camps are like super decay.
I had the feeling that Warwick was just running straight downhill because he's shown prior history of just running straight for the blood trail.
Yeah, I mean she was silly for staying.
Yeah, this Zaya did walk up.
Yeah,
quite a bit.
so in that situation, like just don't bother. Like honestly. Because like right here, sure, we do a fair amount of damage, but we could be doing way more. So this is because we're not really farming. So one of the main things that you...
rather than doing the same level as them.
Yeah, so another thing that you also want to focus on when you're playing these early game junglers is don't feel like you have to super force early unless it's really good for it. Because early game junglers are early game because they spike so hard off one item. So what you can do is you can primarily farm and then gank lanes that are really free or that you need to gank early on. Like if you've got like a Vayne bot, and
then
what's that? Sorry.
Focus. Only my brain's going.
That's fine.
Focus on the early game item spike itself rather than trying to get the early lane leads.
Yeah, because don't get me wrong, if a lead in lane is free for you and you're going to get a lot out of it, let's say for example you're going to get a kill or an assist. Then that's great, don't get me wrong. But the other big thing with jungle as well is that level 1 to 6, laners will get 20% more XP if they get a solo kill. But you will reduce and you'll get punished for XP if you are there with them. So if you gank, you actually end up making the laners lose XP. If that makes sense?
Yeah, no, I always knew that early experience giving is sort of bad.
Yeah.
Unless they want to get your allies reset in.
Yeah, so...
I'll just do the gank and then leave the wave if I feel like I can leave the wave.
Yeah. Yeah, so this is the thing. Solo kills grant 20% more experience, but assisted kills give 20% less experience. So you only really want to go to lanes if it's going to benefit you, because if it doesn't benefit you and it's not guaranteed to benefit you, then you're not only putting yourself further behind, but you're also putting your laners further behind as well. And then this changes, so level 7 to 8, it's reduced to 10% for a solo kill and minus 10% for assisted kill. But yeah, and then at 9 plus it just goes back to normal. But yeah, so that's also something to...
The percentages and levels lost.
Yeah, it's like, don't get me wrong, like a lot of even high elo players don't know these things.
I'm so sad that you live there.
Yeah, that was very annoying indeed. But
I thought she was dead to be Nivea at all.
Yeah, but the thing is now we're level 7 and our camps are way
I should be like level 9 here.
Yeah, literally, because we're fairly strong, right? Yeah, here, like, we just don't really want to go for that much. Like, it's just not really that worth it. Also, we're really running down on time to use our Herald. So what we should have done here is, even though they warded, walk into them in this situation because of Pyke and the Zaya's there.
Get the Nivea to follow with me and we can just collapse on this solo Twitch.
Yeah, it's better to just have the Zaya and the Pyke, to be fair. Because they're gonna...
I meant...
Oh, yeah.
As well to come down below, we can just collapse on this man who's solo.
Yeah. Okay, so we do get some kills. Oh, that Zaya Zyro was very sad, but it's fine.
I think
So-
she just did a pure reaction to live.
Yeah. So, so see how we're just permanently fighting?
Yeah.
This is probably the main thing that's currently keeping you down. Because it's like, sure, you get a kill, but there's going to be opportunities to get kills even if you farm the jungle properly, right? Like, because your top side right now, you're level 8 to... I think your camps are like level 5, honestly.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised.
It would be... I wonder if you'll click on a camp at all when you're taking it. We'll see.
Don't think I have that actual habit in, so click the camp.
Yeah, it's okay.
I use my X key, which is attack move.
Yeah.
That's why you see the circle appear, like a selected attack
Yeah,
move.
oh, there we go. So yeah, your Grump is level 6.
2 levels above, so I'm losing...
20% XP. Yeah. So you lose 20% XP off this entire clear. Just because we haven't really kept on top of it. So what you want to do is get pressure on the map, do the things that you need to do, and then when you have a little bit of downtime, just go and clear everything away. Like, especially in these lower elos. In higher elo, it isn't as bad, because if you just keep fighting and you keep pushing that lead, your laners know what to do with that lead, and your laners will snowball and you'll be able to win off it. But in these elos, it's really not that consistent. You can't really focus on that.
Where the ward that Jay said? It must have been in the river bush.
Potentially. I mean, at the end of the day, you did get a Sejuani TP,
Yeah,
but
no, I
unfortunately
I
we
didn't
died.
react to my
Yeah.
well.
So here, yeah, like, so whenever you're running away from something, what you want to do is you wanna look down at the map and just see. So make yourself an escape route, right? So right here, this is where you want to look down and you want to go, okay, if I want to commit to this, I need to know what's happening elsewhere. So it's like here, okay. So you're never really going to kill him here, I don't think. But we saw Warwick here, and we know Sejuani is TPing. So what we can do is we can go to this brush, and she actually griefs her pathing, see? So as soon as we see her go around like that, we should just run up through here.
Yeah.
To get away, because Warwick is coming up here this way, and he would have had his W on as well. So that gives us the best chance of actually escaping.
Didn't activate his W at all, actually.
Did he not? Oh no, he didn't actually.
No.
Weird. But yeah, it would have gives a better chance of getting out. Yeah, and then. So now we're also level 9, which means our camps that we haven't taken in a while.
Level 10, level 11.
Yeah. Which this is, you know, the times where you get like level 2 ult and you do even more. Yeah. Even though Pantheon's level 2 ult isn't insane, don't get me wrong, like, it's still more.
I think the only thing you really like from
the armor pen.
Is the armor pen.
Yeah, 20% is definitely nice. Because magic damage doesn't really do that much. I mean, it is 500 magic damage, so it's an okay amount, but. So jump on the Twitch here. Okay, nice. Okay, unfortunate.
Yeah, that I don't know. Was it the Jace Q that killed me then? I actually haven't looked at it.
I think so. 1 sec.
I like looking at these little microscopic things as well.
Yeah, so here we actually get on the Twitch. It was partly the way we were clicking. So
I sort of juggled it back towards the Jace by clicking whilst also.
Yeah. Also, we probably didn't need to use our either, to be honest.
I think it was. What? Oh, I didn't even look over what my. Yeah, so, if I had to use my E, I should have used it at the beginning of the Twitch ult rather than midway through.
Yeah, or just held it, to be honest, because it didn't actually do that much to you, and you've got quite a lot of lifesteal.
He started targeting me, and then he switched to Pike, is what I saw there.
Yeah, so we kind of walked back, which did kind of do a little bit. But
yeah, I did get hit by the very edge of that Jason.
Yeah, but it's kind of like you know, it's.
I'm not saying I didn't mess up.
Oh no, I'm just saying like it's kind of rough because the fight was just a little bit messy in general, and it just wasn't an amazing fight for you guys. But
I don't know why the Anivia was ever in melee range of Warwick.
yeah, it's kind of weird. Ooh,
I
so
watched this earlier just do an escape artist as well. I
yeah.
think she gets that blow.
Okay, yeah, she lives. She lives. So let's have a look at the scoreboard again.
22. Did I press tab?
Yeah, you did here.
I need to.
Okay, so now if we're looking at the board, I mean they haven't really built any armor whatsoever. To be honest, it's kind of weird.
I saw they had a lot of healing, so it's like I'm getting that Chem Punk.
Yeah, I think it's okay here. To be honest, I think it's not too bad. I mean, usually you like going things like Black Cleaver and stuff like that. But
I do usually build Black Cleaver second, but I just felt like in this specific game,
yeah,
I felt like the early Chem Punk was the way to go.
yeah, it is okay. Yeah. We couldn't really go Serpents here. Serpents is another really big item that you can go second as well in a lot of situations, so keep that in mind too. Yeah, Kempuk is very nice here. Okay, this fight was a little bit awkward.
I was a bit too impatient.
Yeah, so the thing is here is the Jace isn't the carry of this game, you know? So the Jace doesn't really matter all that much. Instead, what you want to be doing is focusing the Twitch whenever he shows.
You'll notice later on that I do just try and zone Twitch out from fights.
Yeah, and then here, like, we had to flash earlier. So, like, even before this. So, like...
As soon as the Nivea started, I should have just gone... Should have flashed away.
Yeah, so, like, here, just flash over. Like, even if you flash here, that's fine. Just get away from the Twitch, really. Because at that point, yeah, he's already put that auto through. He did flash for you, which is... You know, we can use that for the next fight. Oh, okay. So, the point... The issue now that we're... Well, actually, no, you tell me. What's the issue that we're experiencing now?
Well, the Twitch is level 11, and I am level 9.
Mm-hmm.
I should be like level 13, level 14.
Yep, so he's, you know, got about 1,200 gold in base stats above you as an ADC, which he's sharing XP 3 lane, right? So, yeah, now we're in a position where, because we're behind, we can't really defend our camps. Which means now we're not really going to gain that much XP in the game. So now we're in a position where it just becomes really hard for us to do anything. And again, we just get popped, really. Like, the Warwick's 2 levels up on us. Even though he hasn't really played too well this whole game. This is a very...
I cringe at my decision here.
It's okay. I mean, oh...
And my brain just didn't react with it.
So this is the thing as well, right? Like, because you have permanently fought and fallen behind, now on a champion like Pantheon, it's very hard for you to do much of anything, really. Like, the only real way I see you of being able to win this game now is if you get a good bush bait, you know? Like, if you sit in a brush... and get that, just because we're like super behind.
Cool, Elizabeth.
Okay. So what we flash? Okay. Okay, well, we played that pretty well.
Yeah, I gotta give it to the war. He actually.
But then he went back in.
Another case of where this Zaya has walked up way too far.
Yeah, which, don't get me wrong, sometimes it's okay on Zaya because you've got ults.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think this was when I instantly turned on the Twitch as soon as I saw him popped up.
Yeah. Okay, that's good.
And rather than us chasing, I pinged for the towers.
Yeah. So right here as well. What do you think you should have done in this situation?
I did actually went and check this camp before I went to that tier 2 turret, see if it was up.
Which camp?
I checked for the wolf camp.
Okay. So why
For,
did we check for wolf camp? What should we have checked? What should we have gone to instead? What information do
uh,
we have that is very beneficial to us right now?
well, we got the rip-off timer spawning up right
Exactly.
in the
Yeah.
next like 10, 8, 5, 10
And
seconds.
there's a blast cone here as well. So here, come up, just take the red, kite it to here, blast cone over, we're out. Then you can give.
Whip that was prior, we saw Jace running up.
I think you would have been. I think you would have been
Well,
fine.
before we took the first turret, before the first mid turret, he ran up from the
Okay.
saw him run up that way.
So yeah, you did go up there, but I
After
still
that,
think it's fine. You've got plenty of wards. To be honest, I don't even think you really needed here to push the tower. To be fair. I mean, to be fair, it's actually okay because it hasn't actually spawned yet. But yeah, I mean, you've got wards. I would have said just go for it, to be honest. I think the Jace would have just reset. Yeah, he did. He reset CC.
I think it was also a matter of I didn't see the red buff timer.
Yeah, that's fine. So it just comes down again to that, just determining what the next move is, you know? As a jungler, like, you should always be determining what your next, like, minute is. So you always want to be thinking a minute or two in advance of anything that you're doing as a jungler. And then going from there. That means that you'll be consistently on kind of like the right path, and you'll kind of know what to do at all points, you know? You'll never be in a position where you're like, okay, what do I do now? Like, where do I go now? Because here as well, obviously the Xayah took your red, which is fine. Red is kind of good on Xayah because she gets massive attack speed buffs, but now we don't have a red, which red is very good on us. So yeah, we could have got the red there, which could have potentially changed a fight. So let's see what happens here.
I'll let you watch this fight and see what you make of it.
Yeah.
New Twitch was this way. I popped the sweeper just so I can keep track of where Twitch is.
Okay.
I gotta go send Twitch out as Xayah follows. I feel as if I don't feel like I made the mistake of zoning Twitch out. I think I made a mistake of just not like flashing towards Twitch and Wing on him.
I mean, that was
My Xayah could actually get
not
the
too bad.
stuff.
Yeah, I mean, maybe we could have saved Xayah. Like, if we would have jumped on him.
I didn't get to see him until then, and it's just like Sejuani gets on top of the Xayah, so I'm just like, alright, I gotta stun the Sejuani to make sure that.
Sejuani has mercs, so I think using W on her is completely pointless.
Yeah.
Because she has mercs. So just save the W, especially because it's your empowered W as well. Just save it and then jump on Twitch. Because the thing is here, Sejuani isn't actually doing the damage. Twitch is. So if you CC him up, then he can't do damage. But he does still die. We get a reset. Unfortunately, she dies. It's whatever though.
I had a Jace Q flying at me in that bush as well.
Yeah.
I wanted to try and steal it, but then I just felt like it was a losing fight.
Yeah.
To take. So I mean, I didn't want to.
It wasn't Soul anyway, so it doesn't really matter. Like, don't get me wrong, it definitely is a lot of stats, but it's not Soul. It really doesn't matter. The thing is, we do still do a ton of damage, and we shred through tanks because of our ultimate and our...
Oh, now, here I saw the Twitch do this. I didn't want to walk through the choke point. I chose to go around because I didn't want to get hit by the Twitch. I don't know if I made the wrong decision there.
No, I think this is fine. Like, I think this is
actually... If I had to just funnel through there, I don't have my E, I don't want to...
Yeah, I actually think this is really good, to be honest. This is actually a really smart play.
Yeah.
Okay, nice. Now straight to Baron.
Uh, I think I tried catching this mid-wave, but I didn't keep track of the wave again. I
So,
wasn't looking at my own wave.
what do you think you could do to keep track of the wave?
Look at my own wave.
Exactly.
It
Yeah.
matters.
Yeah.
I
It's
didn't look at where it was. I made an estimate of where the wave was.
Oh yeah. It's you know, it's symmetrical, so you can always see.
Yeah.
Like usually
I think
inhibitors are better than Baron, but we take Baron so quick in this comp that it's good to
After
go.
we did take the Baron, I just decided to pop these cones.
Yeah,
and all
this
that
is fine.
for-
Like you don't really do that much. So all you're here to do is to get Baron's gaze. That's literally it. Like a damage is okay, but it's not big. So do you know what Baron's gaze does? This little icon here.
So that's the oh, so that's the debuff that applies to you to make him attack me. Okay,
When what does what? Sorry.
that's what. If I have that on, he's going to target me.
So he's targeting you, yeah. But what does that do? Do you know?
No, not specifically.
So you do 50% less damage.
Oh.
So whoever is taking Baron's gaze does 50% less damage. So when you are playing things like Pantheon and you have an Anivia and a Zaya and stuff like that, ideally you want to be taking that gaze because, you know, it would be...
Does it switch in between targets?
So it will always target the person that's closest to the Baron.
Okay, so that's the... Okay, yeah.
Yeah. Although I think, I'm not 100% on this, but I think with Pantheon W, if you're not taking it, you can W it and it'll bounce you off and then it'll target you. But yeah, just make sure you're...
His hitbox.
Yeah.
The closest target.
Yeah, so just make sure you're as close as possible because, again, your damage isn't going to be bigger than an Anivia or a Zaya.
So if I was like a Void there or a Viego and my mid lane was like a Cassin and Ozia, would I still be wanting to get this buff?
Yeah, so Cassin and Azir are huge into Baron. So magic damage champions do more to Baron because it only has 70 magic resist. So it has 70 magic resist, but it has 120 armor.
Okay, so if I were to have an AD mid lane, I'd try and like the Zed or a Talon.
Maybe, or like usually you want the support to tank it.
Or the support, yeah.
So if you've got like a Leona or a Nautilus or something like that, they tank it. And then everybody else do a lot of damage.
I just always thought I never knew about this gaze effect. 50% reduced damage. It was just like, all right, I want to be the one tanking the Baron damage.
Yeah, and this is the thing, right? Like this is information that you don't necessarily need all of, but it's good to know, you know, because then you can make better decisions. And those, even the thing is with League, it's a game of very small details, right? So like even like you taking the Baron 2-3 seconds earlier can be the difference between the jungler getting there and it being a 50-50 or not. So knowing what those things actually do are always really, really big.
Here I made a mistake. I will admit I tried. I wanted top the pike because I knew Warwick was there. I didn't realize Warwick actually altered over. I was like, wait, where's the Warwick? See that, and then
Twitch just opens up. Yeah.
One thing after another.
So the thing is with this situation is, what does Baron do for you?
The pushing power.
Yeah. So Baron is good for being in lanes. Elder is good for fighting in chokes. So yeah, you want to use that Baron to basically be in the lane, use the minions, buff them up, make them super tanky, make them hard to clear, and then you just pressure towers. So don't really walk to the jungle when you've got that. Like you don't really need to farm as much at that point. You just need to focus on push. Luckily, we do still keep a Baron.
Yeah, Zaya, Anivia, and Lilia still have the Baron. Cool.
Nice. See, that was way better. That was a much better fight.
I saw that the Jace got stunned by the Anivia, so I was just like...
Yeah, and now we end, right? Yeah, and now we end. Yeah. So yeah, so obviously a lot of information. Obviously some of the information is just good to know. Things like camps, stuff like that. That will also help you very much so in your ability to stay relevant in games. Because see, at this point of the game, we're very, very strong, but we could have been at this stage 10 minutes ago. Like,
Yeah.
I will... Obviously, it's a little bit different.
I should be on like team.
Yeah.
It's as simple as that.
Like, obviously, it's a little bit different, but I'll have some games where I have, like, full items on Diana at, like, 20 minutes. Without really getting many kills, and just by being in the right places, right time, doing the right things. So, your goal is to basically... the thing to focus on from here, I'd say, is to focus on your early clears. Again, make sure that you only really gank lanes if it's an investment for you. Focus on your farming. Make sure that you're not just perma farming in the jungle, but you're also not perma fighting for no reason. Focus farm when there's an opportunity near you. Go for it. With Pantheon, it's a little bit different as well, because they don't even have to be too near you for that opportunity. You can farm within the jungle, and if say a fight goes on in bot lane, you just ult to it, and you're there. Stuff like that, So prioritize that farm, get that gold into you. When you get to your first item, then you can start pressuring the map a little bit more. Pressure the map quite hard, try and get as much as you can, and then full clear everything away before you reset, and then do it again. And then do it again, and then do it again. And then by doing that, you'll be keeping up on farm. Then you'll get so strong. Let's say, for example, we're 2 items for the enemy junglers 1. Then, instead of farming our own camps, we walk into their jungle and we farm their camps. And then we force them out. And then we'll end up in a position where we're so strong that nobody can really contest us. And then what happens when you're in that position is you can either team fight because you're so much stronger, or if your team is still super behind, you can start splitting and they'll have to send like 3 people to kill you. So yeah, I think those are kind of like the main things to focus on anyway. So I'll end the VOD there.